One student at Jenkins Independent is proving archery skills can win awards. And the wildfires in Hawaii are also having a big impact on pets.
And high pressure means lower rain chances for the rest of this week. Those details coming up as Mountain News First at 4 continues.
Mountain News First at 4 continues.
One 8th grader in the Jenkins Independent School District keeps racking up the archery awards. Kimber Collins recently brought home nearly $2,000 in scholarships and several awards, hitting first place in the International Bow Hunting Organization's World Championship, with her school celebrating the success they have almost grown to expect.
I know she has the ability, and she has that ability because of her work ethic. Like she said earlier, she puts in several hundred shots a day, but beyond that, beyond the preparation, she has the ability to focus and concentrate.
Though the award-winning archer is excited for her future in the sport, the future of funding for the sport itself in schools is currently unknown. Hear more about that controversy coming up tonight at 6. This year marks the 38th year of the Pike County Bowl, and today people gathered for the Pike County Bowl luncheon. Coaches, sponsors, and school officials met at the Overlook Event Center in Pikeville. Coaches of the 8 teams involved in this year's bowl talked about their teams and answered questions about the season ahead. Johnson Central head coach Jesse Peck says this bowl brings in a lot of money to support students in the area.
You know, with this stipend that we get from playing in this bowl game, it'll go a long way to benefit a child in our school somewhere.
Peck says the school receives about $3,500 a year, which he says will help pay the bills in the school system. We'll have more from school officials and other coaches about the importance of this bowl game tonight at 5:30, 6, and 11. A central Kentucky community is feeling the loss of a teenager. A 15-year-old died in an accident. Joseph Seagraves was a sophomore at East Jessamine High School. He was also a member of that school's football team. WYMT's Phil Pendleton spoke to the coach about the big loss.
The lights on this football field may not seem quite as bright on Friday nights this fall because the East Jessamine Jaguar football team is now dealing with the loss of one of their own, Joseph Seagraves, who passed away this past weekend. It is the second time in 2 years the football program has dealt with the death of a student. Last year, a 14-year-old passed away during the season, and now, just as the season is about to get started, they learned about the death of 15-year-old Joseph Seagraves. Carter County emergency officials say a 15-year-old from Jessamine County died in a fall off a cliff last weekend. Coach Mike Boland says Seagraves had a tremendous work ethic, and the loss is devastating to deal with.
Joseph was a very quiet kid, came to practice every day. He was playing baseball. He'd come to all the off-season baseball workouts. So this kid would literally come to football practice and then go back to baseball workouts. He was in a lot of honors classes.
The coach tells me that Seagraves' death will be a motivating factor for the team this coming season. In Jessamine County, Phil Pendleton, now back to you.
We've not been made aware of any funeral arrangements for Joseph Seagraves yet. Officials with the Kentucky Transportation Cabinet have announced a bridge replacement project on US 421 in Leslie County. The project starts next Monday. It will replace the bridge at the junction of 421 and Kentucky 1780 in the community of Asher. The Highway Department says traffic signals will be in place while the project is going on. Work is expected to be finished in the middle of December.
Well, after gloomy weather yesterday, the weather is fantastic on your Tuesday. We stay dry under plenty of sunshine into this afternoon, also into this evening as well. Here's a live look over at Buffalo Mountain. You can see plenty of sunshine, also cooler temperatures. That temperature over at the mountain right now at, excuse me, 77 degrees, and most of us in the upper 70s and lower 80s right now. 80 in Jackson, 77 for Hazard, 78 in Pikeville, and 79 for Grundy, also Clintwood at this hour. The good news, we are dry on radar radar after a soggy start to the work week. We are drying out at this hour. We are watching out, though, for a little spin of low pressure over Ohio that could spark a few showers, especially along and north of I-64. But for most of us, we do stay dry as we go into tonight. As we look ahead, though, another nice day on tap on Wednesday before some warmer air on the way for Thursday, Friday, and the weekend. And that high pressure also going to continue. So that means lower rain chances and also an increase in those temperatures. We could see middle to lower 90s by early next week. Those details plus your full 7-day forecast coming up in just a few minutes. Steve?
Cameron, thank you. The deadly Hawaii wildfires have also affected pets. The Maui Humane Society estimates 3,000 animals are lost or missing. They are leading efforts to care for dozens of injured animals.
We have seen animals come through our shelter that have severe burns. We have seen dogs that have essentially had their paws all the way burnt down to the bone from running from the fire.
The organization is encouraging people with missing pets to file a missing pet report on its website. The agency says it will do its best to reunite the animals with their owners. Members of the United States Army National Guard are now assembling to help provide disaster response for the survivors of the Hawaii wildfires. Hawaii National Guard Joint Task Force 50 alongside United States Army active duty and reserve soldiers arrived on Maui yesterday. The Hawaii National Guard commanders say they are committed to the immediate safety and well-being of the survivors and first responders in Maui. A plan is underway to help more people experience the Shenandoah National Park in Virginia. The Shenandoah National Park Trust wants more children and young adults to be able to visit the park and maybe even have their first camping experience. The trust has created a $150,000 Access to the Outdoors Fund from a grant. The money will be used to cover costs such as entry fees, transportation costs, and overnight fees. Coming up on First at 4, one large financial firm agrees to a big money settlement with the government.
Plus, those temperatures stay comfortable as we go into this evening, but some heat is on the way by this weekend. Those details coming up in just a few minutes.